So, my name is Leanne Makinson, and welcome to my free live recruitment training where I am going to be talking you through the exact blueprint that I use with my clients to transform the results that they get within their business. So, one of the reasons why I put this training together was I've noticed a huge gap in the market for businesses that really don't have an education on recruitment and the fundamentals of how recruitment, when it's embedded into their organization, can really help them in terms of headcount, growth, and retaining staff as well. So in today's masterclass, what we're going to have a look at is an introduction into Hargreaves recruitment and my intention behind this training. Who's this training for? It's going to be easy to follow, no fluff, easy to digest information about recruitment that no one has ever told you about before. We're going to talk about why not investing into recruitment is costing you a lot when it comes to time and a lot when it comes to money. And I'm going to give you a couple of exercises that will give you value. There are going to be 3 different ways that you can work with me to help with recruitment. And there's going to be a Q&A session at the end as well. So, fire that up a little bit. So, an introduction into Hargreaves recruitment and who am I? And why is my dog all over the presentation as well? So, my name is Leanne Makinson, and I'm the founder and director of a recruitment consultancy called Hargreaves Recruitment. I reluctantly set this business up 7 years ago, and I'll just kind of take it back before that. So I've been in the industry for 21 years. How this first started was just falling into recruitment as everybody does. And I worked for recruitment agencies for a good 4 years of that, but it was very commission driven, bums on seats, good money, but it didn't set my soul on fire. So I stayed in the kind of high street recruitment agencies for around 4 years. And then after that, I kind of did a bit of soul searching in terms of what was important to me. And I love recruitment. So I found a job working for Empower. And it was kind of like if Carlsberg did jobs, that was the job that really made a massive impact when it came to recruitment, because I was involved in so many foundational and fundamental pieces of recruitment that I didn't even know existed. We were the core of the organization. Without us driving the salespeople and recruiting for the salespeople, they didn't have a business. We recruited for every part of the organization. But that, for me, I traveled the country. I stayed in Hilton hotels all the time. My day, each day, was interviewing, which I absolutely loved. But that really gave me a great foundation for the rest of my career in recruitment. So after Empower, what I did was worked in a lot of temporary and contract roles, because what will happen in recruitment is I'll get a business to a certain headcount and then they don't need me anymore. So I found that I did a lot of temping and a lot of contract work, but that gave me so much experience when it came to all these different techniques and different modalities of recruitment and all these different industries as well. There's not a lot that I haven't recruited for. There's not kind of many different processes that I don't know within recruitment. So whether it's high volume, whether it's really niche roles, whether it's filling contact centers, whether it's giving training to hiring managers. Within all the organizations that I've worked in, I've worked with every department within the business. So it really shows you how integral recruitment is when it comes to making sure that it's done properly. So the last 3 companies I worked for all made me redundant, because I'd get them to headcount and then they wouldn't need me anymore. I got to a point where I was like, I never want to get made redundant again. So I set up Hargreaves Recruitment back in 2017. It was the best thing that I ever did. But I never wanted a business because I didn't know how to run a business. And I never wanted to be self-employed. Funnily enough, the last 2 companies that made me redundant were my biggest clients. So for the first couple of years, I was on this kind of wave of just filling jobs, and it didn't feel like much of a transition. But year 3 and 4 really saw me take a step back, because I had to learn how to build a business. And there's a reason why I'm telling you this. So I have built this business purely from LinkedIn over the last 4 years, and it ties in with employer branding and how important and crucial that is to your business. I have been consistent with posting out on LinkedIn every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And the amount of people that I would speak to that would say, "Oh, I've seen you," they go from LinkedIn. "Oh, I've seen you, your dog's on LinkedIn." People ask about Cobra all the time. I have built a brand from LinkedIn. But over the last couple of years, I've had a huge identity crisis. Some might say it's a midlife crisis because I have just turned 40. But what that looked like over the last couple of years is me really moving away from being a transactional recruiter, which means I don't work with clients anymore just for a position to send them an invoice for to never work again, because I don't find any value in that. I love finding people work, but where I find value is helping businesses grow. Also, as well, to add to that, I've just qualified as a business coach consultant, which really gave me such a more in-depth insight into businesses and how they think and how they feel, and how this human aspect that we're really leaving out of recruitment really needs to be integrated back into businesses. So over the last couple of years, I've really thought about what I want to offer in terms of recruitment, because I still love recruitment and I always will. But I don't want to be working for commission. I don't want to be working for businesses that aren't really invested in recruitment. So what I kind of did for year 5 is really ripped my business apart and put it back together again in a way that made sense. And year 6, coming into year 7, I have just spent the last year working with businesses, training them on all kinds of different stuff. So I worked with a legal firm who really wanted some hiring for their training managers, but when we unpicked and unpacked all of their recruitment process, it started right at the beginning with the conversations that they weren't having with recruitment agencies. I've just recently finished some training with a finance organisation that wanted some training on headhunting, but when we've picked it apart and put it back together again, it's really about employer branding. How does that look? How can we start nurturing talent pools of people for the future recruitment that they've got coming up? And I really do feel like what people think recruitment isn't anymore. So this is the main reason why I wanted to put this presentation together, to give people an education in terms of how recruitment looks in 2024 and the things that I really want you to start considering that are really going to help build your business. So the reason why Cobra's in here, she's been an integral part of my life for the last 3 years. She is an integral part of LinkedIn. She's all over my content. She is the team mascot. She is with me constantly on a day-to-day basis. So I feel stupid not to put Cobra in this presentation. So next up, we've got our team, Hargreaves Recruitment. And I'm going to just take a step back from this before we kind of dive into that. One of the main things that I'm going to be talking to you about in this presentation is knowing your team, knowing the relationship that you have with your staff, and really understanding how they think and feel and what turns them on, what turns them off. This is a new dynamic for Hargreaves Recruitment, and for 2 years I didn't have anyone working for me, and there was a reason for that. Previously to what Hargreaves Recruitment looks like now, it was toxic. It was super toxic. I had people that were working for me that were running another business. I had 2 particular people that were working for me before where they were having really horrible conversations with clients that I didn't know. I didn't know my team enough. I wasn't invested in them enough. And I have learned the hard way when it comes to having the right people in the right places. And now when it comes to my business, it aligns with what makes me happy. I only work with clients that I know are really invested into recruitment and invested into me. I only have people working in my business that I align with. We spend every day working with people. So I want to make sure that the people that I have in my team know my vision, know where I want this business to go, are my biggest supporters, and I'm their biggest supporters as well. So with that being said, Kaylee has been working with me on and off for 2 or 3 years now. Kaylee and I are very aligned in terms of our beliefs, our boundaries, the respect that we have for each other. We have a beautiful relationship. And there's a key word in there, which is respect. It's a mutual respect for each other that we have. Obviously, there's myself, and then we've got Cobra in there as well. The evolution for 2024, Hargreaves Recruitment will grow. What that looks like just yet is another kind of branch to Hargreaves Recruitment, which will be more focused on the 360 recruitment with a manager in there, while I am going to keep on building and evolving the training, coaching and mentoring aspect. So credentials, two of the companies that I previously worked for, so Beaumont Legal was the last organisation that I worked for. CAP HPI was the business before that. I just wanted to kind of highlight this in terms of what I was doing within these organisations. So CAP HPI had no recruitment presence whatsoever. They solely relied on recruiters, and the HR director recruited me to really bring recruitment back into the organisation. So kind of what I did at CAP HPI was I built relationships with all of the hiring managers to understand their needs, their wants, their desires, the teams, personalities of the teams, and I trained all the hiring managers up in recruitment, in interviewing, in the assessment centres, so that it would make my life easier. I was a bridge to candidates. I was their focal point when they needed to do recruitment. So I needed to know everything about the hiring managers so I could do my job properly. And within that organisation, we recruited over 100 people for a contact centre. We had some really niche roles as well. So CAP HPI are vehicle valuations, and it was a lot of tech, it was a lot of data, it was a lot of AI, some really kind of niche and specific roles within that organisation. And within a year of me being with that business, I'd saved them over £100,000 in recruitment fees. And I'm not saying don't use recruitment agencies, but that is not your only option when it comes to recruitment. So Beaumont Legal were the last organisation that I worked for. And again, they didn't have anything when it came to recruitment. They just highly invested into external recruitment agencies to fulfill the roles that they had, but they had some really strong plans for growth. So with Beaumont Legal, we did graduate recruitment, which was fantastic. That was a really good process that we put together, and it wasn't a quick win. It was working with universities like Leeds Beckett to really build relationships and to really have an interactive and fun assessment centre. The people really bought into the organisation, and again, it's about building those relationships, spending time with people, aligning people with your organisation. We had a look at really installing some smooth processes for all of the hiring managers and myself included, so that we could predict the results when it came to recruitment. And we actually got to a point where we were doing assessment centres that I could tell you exactly when to put the adverts out, how many people were going to apply, how many people would advertise and interview, how many people would invite to an assessment centre, and how many people would offer. I think maybe like one or two either side might have been the difference, but we got to a point where we knew exactly the tangible data because we'd gone through processes, we've recorded the data, and now we have predictable figures when it came to recruitment. And collectively between these two organisations, I saved them over 250 grand in recruitment fees. So that is what's achievable when we put recruitment back into your business. And again, I'm not kind of selling you on not using recruitment agencies. I encourage you to do that. Like if you've only got one or two roles within your organisation per year, it doesn't make sense to bring recruitment in-house, use external recruitment agencies, but make sure that you are building the right relationship with recruitment agencies. So common mistakes that I see businesses wasting money and time on. Again, not building strong enough relationships with the recruiter that they work with. So my advice with this, and one of the businesses that I've worked with last year, what they were doing were just giving every single recruitment agency that came along a job. And then basically the recruiter would just send in CVs. And from the back of that, if they saw a good CV, they'd invite them in for an interview. 9 out of 10, that person would never get through the application process because we're just looking at a CV. We don't know who this person is. Have we skills tested them? Has the recruitment agency even had a conversation with them? So my advice to that organisation was to have conversations with my maybe 3 recruitment agencies and go with the one that you align with, that gets your business, that is asking questions about your organisation, that are curious about the people that work in your business, that are asking questions like, what's your company culture like? Who is this person going to be working with? What's the personality of the team that this person is going to be integrated into? I would build exclusive relationships with recruitment agencies purely for the fact that that will get you a better results when it comes to recruitment. Also, as well, what I see businesses doing is just relying on job adverts as a sole attraction strategy. If you put together a really flimsy job description and just stick it on Indeed, for a lower level role like admin or customer service, you will get quite a few applications, but you'll have to sift through a lot of shit to get through the stuff that you actually want. And it's about not just using one job platform. You can use several job platforms, having the right job descriptions, aligning those job descriptions with a person specification. But also as well, it's having multiple channels where you are actually attracting people to your organization. Job advertisements, you're probably looking at about 25% of where your candidates are actually sat. The remaining 75 comes from organic reach, comes from your employer branding, comes from you getting your job out in front of other people. So not investing into the fundamentals of recruitment. So processes, systems, strategies, technology, AI, all of these things have become a really integral part of how a recruitment function should work. So if you don't have people in the right places when it comes to recruitment, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and your time to hire will be dramatically increased by not having the right not having the right people in the right places. Systems in place. Are you documenting the recruitment process and how it works? So you have got a systemized process that anyone can follow, so that if you need to do recruitment, you've always got some form of a process and system in terms of this is what worked before and this is how we got results. This is a different role, and we now know that this job site doesn't work. We're going to use this job site, or this recruiter works better than that recruiter. Having systems in place is crucial. Also, as well, keeping the right information together, including CVs, people's contact information, building talent pools, stuff like this really helps. And systems also help with your branding, especially when it comes to posting stuff out onto LinkedIn. Having some form of a system when it comes to social media is crucial, because you're not just sporadically posting out onto LinkedIn. Having a system and a strategy will help increase your organic reach tenfold. Technology, AI. I use ChatGPT every single day. I use ChatGPT for everything, and not to a case that I'm lazy, not to a case that I want it to do my job for me. It's a case of I'm highly dyslexic. For me to put something together quickly, it's better for me to talk to AI like I would Kaylee, like I would Cobra, and give it the information that I need and ask it to produce me with something that I can use for either a job posting or some training that I'm putting together. But it still has my voice, and it still has all of the things that I require the document to have. And I'll go through technology with you in a little bit on one of the later slides, but technology for recruitment is crucial. It saves you time, it saves you money, and it also sounds better than what I do sometimes too. So Googling how to do recruitment as a roadmap for success. I tried this just to see what other businesses were Googling. So how do you do recruitment? How do you attract talent? How can I recruit for people in my business? Within 15 minutes of doing that training, I was overwhelmed, for one. Number two, I wasn't any closer in terms of where I wanted to be with the results that I wanted. And I just found it really concerning that none of the information that I found had anything to do with a person's specification. And I'll go through that with you in a second. Having the right people that align with your business will either make or break it. So having people that don't align with your business is going to really hinder your plans for growth. It's going to put a cat amongst the pigeons when it comes to having the right people in the right places. And I'll go over that with you in a second. So pre-COVID, and this was the stuff that I was Googling. So the majority of stuff looked pretty much like the stuff on the left. So determine your needs, create a job post, promote open roles, screen a candidate, conduct interviews, complete reference and background checks, make an offer, and onboard the new hire. That sounds really simple. It's really not. That is a roadmap for a disaster. And I'm going to go through why with you in a second. But that was probably written by someone that's never done recruitment before, that thinks it's easy breezy, when the reality is there's so much more included in recruitment that we never had before. So pre-COVID, this would have worked for some businesses, because what we did pre-COVID was we took people for granted. We had people for workhorses. We used people to build our business. Whereas what COVID did is it really lifted the lid off that. What COVID did was really made people sit and think about what they wanted out of the career. COVID created an environment where people were sat at home for 2 years, and now they don't want to spend an hour traveling to work. Now they don't want to spend 40 to 50 hours sat at a desk. Now they don't want to be in a job that makes them incredibly unhappy. It really made people think and feel, what is going to be the next step in my career that's going to make me happy, where I'm not bringing work home with me, where I'm not miserable doing the day-to-day stuff that I was doing before. So pre-COVID, that list would have worked to a degree, but post-COVID, there are some really big fundamental changes that I really encourage you to think about in terms of how you're going to be growing your business in 2024. So creating a vivid vision. I'm sure you've all heard about company culture and how that works, but creating a vivid vision is something that I encourage everybody to do. And it's one of the exercises that I'm going to go through with you. What a vivid vision is going to do is really align you in terms of where your business is going and who you want to come on board to be able to help you achieve whatever plans you've got for the next 5 to 10 years. A vivid vision is something that will attract top talent, to give them reassurance that their next move is going to be the right move, to give them reassurance that your organisation is who they want to actually be working with. And it really aligns people with where your organisation's going. So for me, a vivid vision is something that I would encourage all businesses to have, and you can share this with the current team that you've got, and you can share it and utilize it for your employer branding and also for job descriptions as well. And I really want to change the way that people write job descriptions, because what that role actually needs requires a lot more tweaking to make sure that you are attracting the right people. How to profile your ideal candidate. So I'm sure we've all heard of what an avatar is, but I encourage you to start doing this work in your business. Who's the avatar of the people that you have working in your organisation? Because again, this kind of falls in line with your values, your company culture, your vivid vision. In terms of attracting avatars, I know we don't all want kind of the same 10 Susans in the business and the same 10 Brians in the business. But what you'll find is that when people come to work, they want to make sure that they enjoy working with the people that they spend a lot of time in. So making sure that you do work on your ideal avatar is crucial. And some of the things that I'm going to be talking to you about, you're going to be like, I don't have time to do that. Well, do you have time to keep going through recruitment again and again and again, and getting the same results and not getting anywhere, or recruiting people and then people are leaving because your teams don't align? This work, if you do it once a year for a couple of days, just to really align with where your business is going and where it's evolving, will make a huge difference in terms of making or breaking where you're going to be focusing your attention. So benefits that actually matter, tailoring your offer to employee needs. This, again, is something that people have really had a chance to think about when it came to COVID. And there's an exercise that I'm going to do with you that really shows you how to do benefits, how to see what's attractive, what's sexy, what's sexy to people, and what isn't sexy to people as well when it comes to benefits. Streamlining your recruitment process. So when it comes to having processes in place, again, this is absolutely crucial for your time to hire. People don't hang about anymore, and you having 3 interviews within your recruitment process is not attractive to somebody, especially if they're in work. They've got to take time out of their day to facilitate coming in to see your business, and that's not a guarantee that they're going to get offered a job. So when it comes to streamlining your recruitment process, have a more interactive interview process. So what I would encourage you all to do, if you are working with recruitment agencies or if you've got recruitment in-house, start recording the initial conversation that someone has from an application. That could be 10 to 15 minutes, but that 10 to 15 minutes is enough for you to make an informed decision whether that person gets taken to the next stage, as opposed to just looking at a CV and making a decision based from that. Also, what I do with your interview process is I would have your team be a part of that interview process. So whether they do a bit of the interviewing, whether you invite somebody in and they go for a coffee with the team just for 10, 15 minutes, but little things and little changes like that will make a huge difference in terms of people coming into your business that are aligned and people coming into your business that just don't fit the mold of what you're looking for. So attracting talent using AI. Again, we can use ChatGPT for LinkedIn content. And that's not a case of just asking ChatGPT to create content. It's a case of telling it, this is my business. This is the person that I want to attract. Can you create some content based from this? It's educational. So when I'm posting out onto LinkedIn, the stuff that you're posting about is captivating for your ideal candidate. Beyond job boards, attracting talent through diverse channels. So this kind of goes into headhunting. As I mentioned before, when I advertise, I probably get about 25% worth of talent from adverts. When I do headhunting, which is me contacting people about the roles that I was working on, and I do a lot in terms of employment branding, this is where you're going to start to find people. You know, and my thoughts on job sites are they're expensive. Now, to advertise a role, I don't think that they're bad, but I still do think that they're expensive. Like if you've got enough SEO plugged into the back of your website, there's no reason why someone can't find you. And also as well, like Indeed's one of my favorite job platforms because you can manage the spend on that, whereas CV Library, Reed, Total Jobs, you're tied in and it's a lot of money for what it is. I wouldn't rely on your mainstream job boards to find candidates because it's a very oversaturated pool of people. You know, you've got a million recruiters jumping in there, you've got a million employers jumping in there, whereas I find the best talent isn't sat on job boards, it's sat on social media. They're sat on lots of other different platforms that aren't just CV Library and Total Jobs. Mastering the art of interviewing and personality assessment. I kind of just touched on this before with the interviewing. Now, something else that you could consider into your business is Myers-Briggs assessments. I was at Empower, I think I was 25 when I did a Myers-Briggs assessment, and it really blew my mind in terms of who I am as a person. Like, I really struggle with attention. I struggle to focus. If you ask me to build something and you give me instructions, I'll look at the pictures. I'll never look at the instructions. And when I did a Myers-Briggs personality assessment, I was like, holy shit, this is why I do what I do. This is why I learn so differently to people. I was also dyslexic at the time and I didn't know that. But Myers-Briggs, or some form of a personality profile, again, aligns the right people to the demographic of what you're trying to achieve. So I'd do this with your current team. You will be amazed with the results, especially when it comes to the love language of a person in your team. And if you don't know what that means, a love language to someone is different to everybody. So for me, I like acts of service. So people doing nice stuff for me. You could have somebody else that really likes to have words of affirmations. There's a different love language for everyone. And by doing stuff like personality profile assessments, you can really identify how people need praise in your team. And it's not just for the validation, but if you want to, you know, give someone a high five or buy them a nice box of chocolates, they might not appreciate that more than somebody else does. So that's something else to think about too. Candidate engagement from application to onboarding. I know so many businesses that will offer a role to a candidate. They'll send an offer letter out and 4 weeks will go by and no communication has been given. This person doesn't know what they're doing when they turn up to work. And I find it so disheartening that businesses are missing a huge trick when it comes to the interaction that you have with a candidate. So for me, what I would be doing is making sure that we've got some form of a welcome pack that goes out to the candidates. I would be keeping in touch with that candidate once a week. What I'd also do is make sure that they've got something tangible, like a mug with their name on. They've got a copy of how their onboarding looks. And with that, it will ensure that you have some smooth transactions when it comes to people coming into your business. As well, with this, we have a lot of people that can quite easily be attracted to another organisation. And if they don't have communication with you in regards to that first 4 weeks, or they might have a 12-week notice period, and another company has actually contacted them that gives them more reassurance, more communication, and it seems a bit more attractive, you don't want to lose out on that candidate either. So having really good communication when you are onboarding people is essential to your recruitment process. Predictive recruitment, so making future hires more certain, and I kind of touched upon this before, is that it's recording the data of what job sites might have worked, how did you find different candidates, what was your advertising budget spend, so that when a hiring manager does want to do recruitment, you have all the information in terms of what's achievable, what isn't, where to find people, and the budget with that as well. Onboarding for retention strategies will keep new hires engaged and productive. I've kind of gone over this anyway with the candidate engagement, but it's not pandering to candidates. That's something that I want to get across to you, but it's more communication. It's treating them like human beings. It is really amplifying the respect that you've got for the people that work in your business. So the cost of a bad hire in 2024, 27% of UK companies said that bad hires cost them more than £50,000, which I can see that, if you're paying maybe a 10 grand recruitment fee, that's a lot. That's a huge expense for you to have to go through recruitment again, but it's not just the cost of it, it's the time, it's the productivity, it's to go back through the training again. So here we've got hiring a replacement is time consuming, causing 40% lost time in recruitment and training the new person. It can disrupt the team dynamic and has the potential to cause a 32% drop in employee morale. And it can also be very damaging to the client relationships. I just want to go through something with you, and I've had the experience of this before. So an unpredictable hire can be really damaging to your organisation. And what I mean by that is you not spending time at the beginning with your vivid vision, your company culture, your values, your personal profiling, your job descriptions, and you chucking together a really quick job description, spending 10 minutes with a recruitment agency saying, this is the person I need it yesterday, rushing your process and not spending time with people and maybe just reviewing a CV, spending 10 minutes with someone, hiring them a job. Now what can happen here is that person doesn't fit into the mold of your business. They have talked the talk, but now they can't walk the walk or do the role that they actually told you that they could do. And now they're causing problems in your team because you didn't see the personality of the person within that 10 minutes, which you would have captured having an interactive recruitment process. Now you're having to performance manage that person out of the business. They're really pissed off. They're a bit like a candidate scorned. And now they are posting stuff on your Glassdoor profile to say how shit of a company you are. They are speaking to people, maybe your clients, in terms of your reputation. So really have a think about what's the cost of having a bad hire in 2024 versus spending time with people, getting to know them. Have a look at it like dating as well, right? So if you want to commit to someone, you spend time with them. You get to know their likes, their dislikes, their personality, how they think, how they feel. Sometimes we get it wrong, but sometimes we get it really right. And that can go the whole 9 yards, right? So when we're coming to making sure that we're aligned and we're connected, spending time with people is crucial. So areas that will help you eliminate bad hires, which I've kind of just gone through: company culture, vivid vision, employer branding, social media, personality profiling, just making sure that I'm still on time, and investing into your current teams and have them part of your recruitment process. So vivid vision. What are the exercises that I'm going to go through with you? So a vivid vision is a powerful tool that guides the growth of your business. It serves as a magnet for attracting the right talent. It can help create a clear roadmap that aligns with aspirations and values of potential candidates. It helps attract top tier talent who are not just looking for a job, but a meaningful and fulfilling opportunity. Candidates are more likely to be engaged, committed, and contribute to a company's success when a vivid vision is in place. Imagine saying that after a couple of glasses of wine. Vivid vision. It's quite hard to get out, so bear with me. Furthermore, a vivid vision fosters a strong sense of purpose and identity, which is essential for building a cohesive and high-performing team. In summary, integrating a vivid vision into your recruitment strategy is crucial not only for attracting, but also retaining top talent and creating a culture of growth, innovation, and success. With that being said, we are looking at a period now of candidates being with businesses for 2 to 3 years tops. Because what happens is that we will integrate this person into the business, that person will hit a glass ceiling, or they won't feel challenged anymore. And their first immediate reaction is to look for a company that can offer said progression. Having a vivid vision in your organization could eliminate that. It could really give that person a sense of this business is going here, and within 5 years it's going to be here. Within 10 years it's going to be here. I'm just going to take a step back in fact, actually. So when it comes to your retention and hiring and onboarding, what I would do with that candidate is make sure that they've got a strong plan for 12 months that you share with them so that they can see a roadmap as to where their career is going to be developing. So I'll come back to your vivid vision. This will really solidify the retention of your staff, separate to your company culture. And it's an exercise that I encourage your founders, your CEOs, your directors to sit down for a couple of hours and do it individually. So give them all a Word document, give them a tablet, however that looks. And each of the founders and CEOs and directors will have different answers to this. So some of the questions that you can ask them will be around, what's your company's purpose beyond making money? So why do they exist? What are the values and how do you embody them in a day-to-day operation? Where do you see your company going in 5 to 10 to 20 years' time? Who will be on your team? Again, there's a line in personalities with where you want to attract your talent. What are your clients experiencing, and how is their relationship with your company? And what kind of company culture do you want to foster? So these are really, really important questions that I encourage you to give to the founders, CEOs, and directors. And then this is where we use AI to our advantage, is we put all the answers from the Word documents into ChatGPT. We tell them who the business is, who's done the exercise, what we want to create, a vivid vision. We put all the answers in, and then we ask ChatGPT to create 2 versions of this. One that we can use for your current team. You can share that with the team. Number 2 is a brief paragraph that you can use for your job descriptions. So how I encourage you to start looking at job descriptions is a story into your business, your vivid vision, your company culture, your person specification, which ties in with your company culture, the benefits of your organization, because these are all attraction strategies, and then the actual role at the bottom. The role is a non-negotiable. We need the person to be able to do that. But the fundamental parts at the top are things that we need to start changing and integrating into your recruitment process. So, Cobra on the profile. How to make sure that you are competitive and how to get benefits that people will actually use. So what I'm going to do here, excuse me, is in terms of you being competitive as an organisation and you need a role, what I've always done with hiring managers in the past is I have taken what they wanted in regards to the job spec and the role, and I've always gone away and done some research to make sure that what they're asking for is in alignment with the wider world. So based on a sales manager, I just thought it would be an easy process to show you. So anyone can create an Indeed employer account. Don't create a candidate account, create an Indeed employer account. Even if you don't use Indeed, it's still good to have the information because it's real time. I think it's from maybe December and January. So it's always kind of a month out, but it's still good information to use. So this section here, it will say analytics, and then it will go to hiring and hiring insights, which is this. So obviously set it to the country that you want, the job title, which I'll put in sales manager, and then I put the location in here as well. You can generate the report, which downloads it into a PDF, which is really good if you want to be able to send it out to hiring managers or to whoever's doing the recruitment. And then the really cool stuff about Indeed is it will give you market trends, and it will also give you some really cool information when it comes to making informed decisions about how you want to pitch this role to the wider market. So in here, you can see that since December 2023, 93 number of jobs that posted in leads that received clicks. Would say it's moderate competition. This is one that I'd really keep an eye out for when it comes to the research that you do, because if it's going to be a role that is very, very high in competition, you really need to have a look at the offering, which comes to the benefits, which comes to the company culture, which comes to the vivid vision. A vivid vision isn't something that I see a lot of businesses doing, so jump on this. So a number of job seekers to have clicked on job posts, the average salary in here as well. Now, what I want you to take into consideration is who is looking at, where people are applying for. Are they using a laptop? Are they using the phones? 56% of people were using mobile devices. So when you are putting your job description together, I would just make sure that it is captivating and it's easy to read. We have an attention span of 7 seconds, and I shit you not, that is real information. If you watch a TV program, if you watch a film, let me know if you can count more than 7 seconds on each scene. And as well, we're in a virtual world where we are constantly scrolling on devices with TikTok, Instagram stories, YouTube shorts. We've got a very short attention span, and take that into consideration when you're advertising your jobs. So 71 total number of employers with active jobs in leads. So if you can imagine, if you're advertising for a sales manager role, what makes you different from the other 71 people that are advertising on a very similar salary? So taking this information into consideration, how I would then have a look at benefits that are attractive to your demographic is I'd have a look at the companies that are advertising. So, for example, you could take it from here. We've got Cabin Locator, we've got Big Motoring World. I wouldn't have a look at any of the recruitment companies, but I would have a look at Smilewell Holdings, Manning Statham, create a bit of an Excel spreadsheet. Then what I would do is add in the different companies, but I would also have a look at their websites, see what benefits that they're offering. And maybe if you still don't get enough information from that, you're looking at around 5 companies. I would go onto stuff like Total Jobs as a candidate, or CV Library as a candidate, put in sales manager, see the 5 companies, first 5 companies, not recruitment agencies, that come up, and have a look at their websites or have a look at the jobs to see if it gives you an idea in terms of what benefits people are offering. Now, also when it comes to benefits, what I would strongly recommend is asking your team. Ask the business, ask them anonymously, who uses the benefits, which do they use, what's their experience, are there any benefits that people use more than not? And this could be a really great exercise for aligning what benefits you're actually offering as a business, because there's no point paying for benefits if you don't actually use them. So that is my advice when it comes to benefits. Okay, employer branding. You take anything away from today, employer branding is really what I want you to focus on, because this is where businesses are falling down. They're not putting enough time and effort into employer branding. They're just sticking an advert out on Indeed and then relying on a recruitment agency when it doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying that these 2 options, to stop using them, don't if it's working for your business, but employer branding is crucial for someone for a know, like, and trust response. So, for example, if someone wanted to headhunt me, if I was ever to work for a business now, I would go over to their social media. I would have a look at their branding. I would see who's commenting on their posts. I would have a look at their LinkedIn profiles. And you notice how I've not even said the website. We can go to the website, and I'd probably say about 75% of businesses that I look at don't have a great careers page. They just have a really short and sweet message that if someone wants to apply, send a CV. They don't have anything about the company culture, anything about the dynamics of the team. They don't have anything of interest really when it comes to me having a look at the careers page. And if you're not doing anything with your careers page, you're really missing a trick. But how I see employer branding is the difference in someone making a decision to work for your business and not working for your business. Because even if you are working with a recruiter and they have headhunted someone, they're just going to look straight at your social media. They're going to look straight at Glassdoor. They're going to look straight at reviews of stuff. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was looking for somewhere to put my dog into dog boarding. And there was one company and it had 5 stars, and I spotted one bad star. And I was like, let me have a quick look at this. And it was one lady that had put a review on. All the others were 5-star, and this one lady had put a review on about this guy called Ryan and how he'd mistreated her cat. And regardless of whether it was true or not, that was enough for me not to put my dog in the dog boarding place. And again, this is going to really impact people making a decision to work for your organisation. And we live in a world now where we want to make sure that security is key for our organisation, for our careers. We want to make sure that the next move that we make is the right move that we make. We want to make sure that this next employer is in alignment with where we want our career to go. So do they offer the right benefits? Do they give a shit about the current employees? Is it a nice place to work? Can I see information on social media that gives me some reassurance that this is the right move that I'm going to be making? So I've just done some work with First Response Finance, and some of the things that I was talking to that organisation about was making sure that we are documenting nights out or team events. That's something else to really consider as well, is that personally, I don't drink anymore, and I used to be a huge drinker. Now, if I see an organisation that is promoting nights out, that's not going to attract me to that organisation. So be mindful of stuff like that. Like if we are having team building days, make sure that that's specific and make sure that that's clear. Where was I going with that? Yeah, we were talking about kind of the employer branding and really amplifying who they are as a business, what's it like to work for them, and to really give it kind of a warts and all in terms of who they are as a business so that that person can make an informed decision. So in terms of optimizing LinkedIn profiles, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a snapshot into mine and how this looks. This probably will look different from your side because this is looking at it from my perspective. But on here, it gives you a clear indication of who I am, what I do, and how I do it. And there's a lot of posts on here from me in terms of value-added information. So people know that I'm a recruitment expert. People know how I can help their organisation. And there's an acronym that I use. It's called Keep It Simple, Stupid. People just don't assume that people know who you are and what you do. Make it very clear, because what could happen is you're trying to attract certain candidates and they're looking at your profile and they don't have any confidence or reassurance that you are who you say you are, that you're an expert of this. And after looking at the company profile, they're not going to work with your organisation because you haven't said enough about how great of a place it is for you to actually be working there. I'll just go back to my presentation. Cool. So also as well, just to give you a bit of a snapshot into social media, people automatically assume that LinkedIn's this great place where it's got millions of people and you're going to find your perfect candidate on there. Yes, it does have millions of people on LinkedIn, but if you have a look at this presentation, this is the most popular social networks worldwide of 2024. So Facebook, you have got first and foremost YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Snapchat, and there's some other ones here that I probably think are Chinese that I've never even heard of before. But what I encourage you to think about is not all of your talent's going to be sat on a job platform. Not all of your talent's going to be sat on LinkedIn. Where do people hang out? So the demographic of people that you're trying to attract, for example, it might be contact center people, or it might be admin, it might be customer service. They're probably going to be sat on TikTok. If we've got people of a demographic of my age, for example, it might be Instagram and Facebook. So I would really get curious in terms of where people are hanging out that could be the right demographic of your organization. And then when it comes to advertising on stuff like Facebook, you can really get smart with who you want to target, the age demographic. You can put keywords in there as well. So if you've never used Facebook for advertising jobs, what I would do is just do maybe a week and put a little bit of spend behind it to see if it increases the amount of candidates that you get that are aligned to your business. And then you know, instead of relying on CV Library or Indeed, that you can go to Facebook for certain roles because that is tried and tested, and you've got the data to be able to evidence that as well. So testimonials. These are businesses that have worked with me on the training, coaching and mentoring. So I worked with First Response Finance a couple of months back now, and one of their goals in 2024 was to expand their knowledge and work with experts in the game. So they were looking for headhunting because they want to really steer away from moving from recruiters because they want to bring recruitment more in-house. So headhunting was a really specific goal of theirs. What headhunting looks like now is branding, company branding. It is about nurturing platforms like LinkedIn to be able to grow your network of the people that you want to attract. So for example, they were looking for software developers. Are you connecting with software developers every day on LinkedIn? Are you posting stuff that's specific to software developers onto LinkedIn? Because I can guarantee you by doing stuff like that, you'll start to grow pools organically of people in the right demographic. So kind of what we did is we spent a few hours together. I did a deep dive into their social media, how visible they were, and I gave them some really good tangible information in terms of how to get from A to Z with some strategy included in that as well. Other people that I've worked with, so there's 3 different kind of levels of the offers that we've got today, but the hiring made easy is a bespoke course that I put together that's got everything in that I'll go through in a second. But these are 3 people that have worked in and around the hiring made easy information that I put together. So Chris from the executive group, we worked together on creating more appealing job specs, as the ones that he was using weren't attracting the right kind of candidates. So we spent time making sure that the adverts spoke the language of the candidates that he wanted to attract. On Monday the 13th, he put out 3 new adverts and he had to take 2 of them down because they were just getting too many candidates. And the candidates that he was receiving were so aligned with his business compared to the results that he'd had before. So we had another guy that did the Hiring Made Easy, the bespoke edition. This was all around training the hiring managers to make sure that they had an education when it came to recruitment. And this is something that's quite important, actually, that I just want to touch on. When it comes to hiring managers having experience in recruitment, give them as much training and expertise as you can. Hiring managers are managers of a team that isn't anything to do with recruitment. Yes, they have to hire people into their current team, but has anyone actually given hiring managers the chance to do some interviewing training? Has anyone ever given hiring managers the chance to really understand recruitment on a deeper level? Because they've got their own job to do, and now hiring managers have the job of recruitment to do. So invest in your hiring managers when it comes to recruitment. And then we had Deborah from 53rd North Group. She did the Hiring Made Easy cohort, where she found it used clear language, plain English. The things that she took away from that as well, albeit she was in the cohort, she was able to take a lot of the exercises away and make them bespoke to her organisation. So how do you want to become the expert in recruitment? There's 3 offers that I am currently taking new clients on for. So we've got the cohort. It's called Hiring Made Easy. I'll go through what's involved in that in a second. So it's 4 to 6 weeks. And while I say 4 to 6 weeks, it really does depend on the level of the class and the amount of interaction that people want out of that. So as a minimum 4 weeks, as a maximum 6 weeks, because what we'll do is we'll have a couple of sessions that are specifically question and answer. So I can do some one-to-one coaching with people that are in the cohort. So the location is on Teams. It will be every Thursday between 10 and 12, and that's going to start on the 21st of March. The price for that is £2,500 per business. So it doesn't matter if you've got 10 people in the recruitment team, it's just one price per business. And how to apply. So we're just going to drop the link in the comments. We'll also send the link out with the recording as well. And I'm going to go through the site in terms of what that looks like and how to apply for each of these. But yeah, each week will include structured interactive sessions, coaching and activities designed to enhance your recruitment skills. So by the end of this, I will have given you everything in my brain that is specific to the recruitment that you want to achieve, so that you have got really easy to follow, easy to digest information that you can start implementing into your business. So what this goes through is exactly what we've gone through today. So creating a vivid vision to attract and inspire top talent, how to profile your ideal candidate, benefits that matter, streamlining your recruitment process, attracting talent using AI. Now, also as well, when it comes to the attracting talent, something that I haven't mentioned is when it comes to headhunting, there is specific searches that we can put together that will increase the amount of candidates that you find by tenfold. So what I do is I put together Boolean searches, I put together X-ray searches that are really in-depth bits of code, and I give you a really good insight here. So I was paying for LinkedIn Recruiter, and it was costing me about £4,000 for the year. And after I invested into some headhunting training, I put the code together, and you can go through the back door of LinkedIn using this code. I found so many more candidates for free. Obviously, I paid for the training, but I find so many more candidates than the results that I was getting from LinkedIn. So these are the things that I'm going to be able to teach you based on the roles that you want to recruit for, are putting together pieces of code that you'll be able to search on social media platforms to be able to find candidates that aren't just sat on CV Library on Indeed. Beyond job boards, so attracting talent through diverse channels, we'll have a look at building strategies when it comes to attracting top talent and how to integrate these into your social media platforms, that you start to grow organic talent pools of people. And based on the predictable recruitment that I'll be able to teach you as well, it's great that you can align the two, so that when it comes to recruitment, you're not being reactive, you've been proactive. And this is kind of where recruitment falls down, is that hiring manager might need a role and everyone's like, shit, what do we do? And then it becomes a really rushed process, whereas this is kind of where we start to make bad hires and bad choices. We've got mastering the art of interviewing with personality assessment. So with that, what we'll do is I'll show you how to really create sets of interview questions that are relatable to your interview process. So when it comes to interviewing, if you are still using interviews from 10 years ago, from 5 years ago, even from 4 years ago, and it's a competency interview of someone or something that's like, tell me about a time when you've had a challenging situation, or tell me about a time when you've worked in a team, stop using those questions now, because they're not relevant and you're not going to get what you need from those questions out of the person that you're interviewing. So when it comes to interviewing, we're going to look at how to make interviewing interactive, how to get the best out of a candidate, how to create interview questions that are relevant to the role that you want. And we'll also have a look at 2 or 3 different ways of putting together an interview process that is easy to pick up for hiring managers. There will also put some training in there for hiring managers as well. So again, if you do sign up to this, you can get the hiring managers to join the course at this point, which will be really, really good educational information about recruitment that they can just take on board. Predictive recruitment, which we've gone through, candidate engagement. So what we'll be doing in that section is structure in terms of what to be telling candidates, when to be telling candidates, how to engage with them, what to say at different parts as well, so we can put a strategy together, including templates that you can use within your business. And then onboarding for retention, so strategies that keep new hires engaged and productive. With all of this, how it works is that every Thursday between 10 and 12, the call will be recorded. It will be interactive like this, where we'll go through different modules of the training. There'll be question and answer sessions at the end. I will show you how to go through each of these modules. Might be 2 or 3 modules on each call, but I'll make sure that all the information is easy to digest and you can start to take it away straight away to put it into your business. Also, what we'll have with this as well is templates that you can use, that you can just convert into your own branding. So every call will be recorded. It will be saved onto a platform, whether it's WordPress into my website or whether it's Kajabi. I'm going to figure that out on Monday. But every call will be recorded so that you've always got access to it and you've got lifetime access to it as well. So offer 2, which is exactly what we've just gone through there, but it's the bespoke edition. I've only got 5 spots available for this, and I won't be doing the bespoke session again. So when it's bespoke, it's me working one-to-one with you. It's not in the cohort what we've just covered. It's me coaching and mentoring you on all of the things that we've just gone through, but we make it specific to your organisation. So we have an application process for that. We'll give you a call, we'll go through exactly what you need. And then based on this here, we really zone in terms of making this bespoke and unique to your organisation. So it might be a case that you've already got a couple of these things involved in here. So we might have a look at attracting talent. We might have a look at building the employer branding. We might have a look at really training your hiring managers on how to interview properly. But with the one-to-one, it's really bespoke and niche to exactly what your recruitment requirements want. Again, it's between 4 to 6 weeks. And what I really want to get you to a point is you don't need to use a recruiter after that. You've got all the tools that you need to be able to do recruitment effectively. You've got all the recordings to go back to. You've got all the templates to integrate into your business. And again, I've got 5 spots available for that. It does start on the week of the 18th. Sessions are going to be Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. And once you've got your selected spot, that will be your spot for week in, week out. And again, the same link applies, and I'm going to show you how to apply for that in a second. And then, yeah, basically what we've just gone through. So this is for businesses seeking a more tailored solution. This bespoke option offers personalised training uniquely crafted to address the specific challenges and opportunities of your industry, resulting in a more focused and impactful learning experience. So both options provide valuable insights and resources to your business to achieve your recruitment goals. But the one-to-one, it offers a bespoke offer that goes deeper, providing a highly customised approach that aligns perfectly with the unique requirements of your business. If you do apply online and it doesn't give you an option to buy it, that means that the 5 spots have gone. So what I'll be doing if that's the case is I'll be taking a list of people that want to join in June. So offer 3 is more for businesses that already have some form of recruitment process in place and you don't want to go any deeper with that, but you're really interested in the employer branding and the attraction strategies and how that could work for your business. So again, that is online by Teams, and that is Wednesday the 3rd of April at 10 o'clock. So it will be for 3 hours. If you can't make it, it'll be recorded and you'll be given all the templates as well. There will be breaks in between that because I can appreciate that 3 hours is quite a long time. And it's £1,000 per company, and it's an unlimited amount of people that can join per company. And how to apply is down at the bottom, which is in the link in the comments. So who is this for? The employer branding and attraction strategies. So businesses that want to align and attract their ideal candidate that may already have an internal recruitment function, but you've got outdated ways of attracting. So you've worked with a recruitment company, you've worked with Indeed, you're not getting through what you want to do. This will align you with the ideal candidates that you're looking for. Businesses that want a strategy on social media, businesses that want to ditch expensive job boards and take back control of the results, and businesses that want to increase candidate attraction by up to 75%. So offer 3, what's included? So the power of employer branding, the power of social media and strategies, how to increase your talent pool by up to 75%, and attraction strategies including headhunting, Boolean searches and X-ray searches, and communication. Communication is key with this. It's okay that we put some strategies together, but what do we do with the candidates that are coming through? So how do we nurture those relationships as well?